So yes, as Christy said, thank you everyone for joining this morning. I wanted to give us some updates about Selden LLC and our performance this year. I'm going to focus a lot on some of the soft skills, versus necessarily some of your KPIs that you're used to with the properties and with scorecards and NOI and different things. We're going to talk about some of the things that you guys have been answering surveys on, customer service surveys and HR surveys. And we had the work comp goal. We had some other fun things that I thought, I bet you guys would like to see what we do with that information, what happens with it, and how are we doing? And I want to start by saying we are going to have a town hall. Invite is coming out on November 11th. So make sure you guys attend with your teams. It works best at the sites that the whole team just attends together. So watch for that. It'll be November 11th, or excuse me, December 11th at 10 a.m. And each brand president will be participating. We'll have Seth Perkins and Alicia Reed fill in for Michelle, who will be traveling. But make sure that you have that on your calendar that you attend. It's going to be kind of a theme today in my presentation about participation, and you'll see why as we go through some of my slides. But this is fun. We are doing all brands today. So you notice our Selden LLC logo, and then we have, each brand, and I'll give you a little update on each brand and performance and what's going on, especially with what we focused on in 2024. So as you guys will recall, in 2024, we did town halls at the beginning of the year talking about pride. That was our theme. So we did a town hall for the Selden Company brand for the sites, and then we did a separate town hall for the corporate staff and the other brands. If you remember, I'll switch back to this slide really quick. Selden Company is our residential brand, which is a lot of you on the call today. Omni Partners is the commercial brand. We have our construction brand, our commercial service brand, and then our compliance consulting brand, our STAR. Okay. So we had a couple of town halls, and the one that we, when we met with the Selden Company brand and the staff, we talked about, hey, we're going to talk about team pride at your properties, pride in the work we do as individuals at each of the properties and as our team, really making sure that's really is the best place for residents to call home and being asset stewards for our owners. So we did a lot of that pride focus, striving for excellence. We talked about, if you remember in that town hall, in the past, we focused a lot on our history and our values and our accomplishments. We've done a lot of this through our mindset program, our culture program. And we said, hey, we're really going to focus now on these subcultures. We've talked a lot about Selden as a whole and our behavioral expectations, but now we're going to really focus on each of your properties and property pride. We think of everyone, it's a lot for all of us, right? When you think of how many properties we manage, but if you kind of break it up into your subcultures and here's our property team. And if every property team does a great job of taking care of their property, we experience amazing business success. And so really, we want you to focus on working as a team to make sure you guys are, taking care of these properties like your own home. And then we also shared with the corporate staff that in their town hall, hey, corporate staff, we need to make sure that in your department, you have staff that is committed to your department, or if it's like we're talking about the various brands, your brand, the teammates, and the work product. Right. And we even talked to them a little bit more of making sure that they're providing great support to the operations teams. So again, we did separate town halls, but that's what our focus for both was. It's all about this pride. It's pride of the property work, or pride in the department, or pride of the brand that you operate in. So how did we do? Right. We're in November. Who could believe, right? We're already in November. How are things going? And so I thought we'd start with Omni and USG Service. We said, hey, what are you guys going to focus on in 2024? And it was, making sure that we understand how our work affects others, that we receive feedback from the management team and coworkers, and job satisfaction, employee loyalty. And so the first update, really, I'll focus or hone in on USG Service. When I was preparing for the sync up, I just went to each of those leaders in these areas, the brands, and said, tell me how you're doing. What's good? if there's something not so good, what can we work on as we finish out 2024 strong? And so here, USG Service talked a lot about like, hey, we implemented new software for like field service software, and it's been really successful. It's resulted in 100% follow-up on all service tickets presented, and really keeping track of what we've got going in the equipment and preventing, tracking preventative maintenance. So they're really feeling excited about the work that they've done with their new software and on the preventative maintenance. Another fun fact for USG Service brand was in this, for safety, in the past 24 months, USG Service has only had one accident report, and they haven't had any since April 2024. So awesome job on that. Safety is a huge focus. We're going to talk about that for 2025. So congrats to USG Service with their good work on the safety part too. So technology and safety. Omni, when they were looking at what they wanted to focus on, our commercial brand, they said, finishing some reconciliations, making sure we're taking really good care of our customers, and really focusing on some new business.
Those
And
are
so
huge.
happy to report that they came back and said, hey, we presented to we said it, in our town hall. We also presented to the board that, we're going to take on 6 to 8 properties. That's a goal we have, and do a good job, and word of mouth out there that, we're the, the management company of choice. And so they're very excited to report that they've picked up 7 new properties. So very exciting for them. They also, kind of like USG Service, wanted to bring up that after 14 years with using Yardi, they switched to a new accounting software, right? AppFolio. The Selden brand knows all about some of those software conversions, right? We can empathize with each other with how much work that is, and appreciate that about, each of our brands. And so they're really excited about the progress they've made. And they also, and I love this, made a note about, hey, our whole team pitched in and helped convert this information. And it's more user-friendly for our tenants. And they also hit another goal. Now their commercial tenants can pay online. That was a big thing they'd wanted for a really long time. And so they put #killing it. So congrats to the Omni brand. Those are great things. Really wanting to make sure that they were stepping it up for their tenants, providing, something that the tenants were asking for. They were always bringing their rent checks into the office. And so now that they can pay online, it's pretty handy. And so I think they're enjoying their new software, and congrats again to that team for working really well. We know those are stressful to do, and they did a really good job with it. So then we move on to Omni Brokerage. So just to kind of remind people about brokerage, if you're not as familiar, how brokerage works is those are independent contractors. Our brokerage team are independent contractors. That means they're not getting W-2s or not employees. And so when you're an independent contractor, it works a little different. You come and go as you please, and you don't have a supervisor directing your work. You have goals, but you get to do them how you want to do them. You have to be a real self-starter and be very disciplined to do it. And but yet you're still working as a team, right? So there are some challenges when there aren't certain controls that a supervisor can just put into place. And so they had said, when they were going to work on 2024, that they really wanted an in-office collaborative culture. We can't force brokers to be in the office. As a part of being an independent contractor, you can't force things like times. And so it's more of like an encouragement. So they really wanted that, really understanding that when you work in that operation, it's kind of 24/7, you're out and about, right? So they might start and be spending some time in the office, but really the work that they're doing is out in the field and out with, meeting people and really making some strong relationships in the area, getting to know what's going on in our area and talking to people and attending things like charity events and so forth. That was what they wanted to focus. And so the update here was a bit of, hey, we're seeing more of the brokers kind of coming in at the beginning of their day, interacting with each other, and then going out where their business is located. Sometimes their business is on a golf course, maybe it's at a lunch, whatever it is. It's not easy, right? Developing those relationships. and it's been a little bit of a tough market for it, but they're getting out there, they're getting to those sporting events, lunches, charity events. But to be strong in this business, as Pat, our president of the brand, said, is you really have to be visible and active. And so he was happy that some brokers replied to him that they were going to a seminar on TIF financing, and that they're also like taking time to present at industry like seminars, which is really important. We want them to represent Omni as being a group that knows what they're talking about and willing to invest in other people's education as well. So it's really a self-starter business, and they're really excited about the progress that they've made up with that brand. The next one is USG Construction. So our small construction division. And so they were excited to share some project updates when we had our town hall. And they had completed 2 autism centers, one in Omaha, one in Lincoln back then. They were working on some other projects. At that time, the Viva La Rock Lounge was going to be opening soon. It is now opened. Something they were really proud of was some of the good review. They had noticed something that someone had said, hey, I've worked with many GCs. Some have been very good and it's not so good, which is frustrating and frightening, but USG is superb. Without a doubt, the easiest and best with whom it's been a pleasure to have worked with. So wasn't that a great compliment? And so when they were looking at progress with us, they're like, wow, we've completed amazing projects. We got really good reviews and feedback. And so we feel pretty successful that, when we measure the fact that 4 of our customers have already contracted with us for 2nd and 3rd projects. So that's what we want, right? Same with on the Selden Company brand, right? When we work for an owner or managing a property, our desire is for them to be their manager of choice and follow them and manage more of their stuff and have their portfolio. Okay, same idea. So they worked really closely, they mentioned here, with the other brands, right? They leveraged those relationships and they've done some other work with some of the other teams. So pretty excited about what they've done. And then Star Compliance Consulting. They were going to work, they had some specific goals here that they were going to work on: monthly workload assessment reporting, individualized staff trainings, and some other things. And so an update that they gave is that through some of these strategic initiatives, they've really enhanced their operational efficiency and the brand excellence amongst their division. And so that they've met a lot of these goals as they've worked through them. And they believe that the improvements that they made have really strengthened their professional reputation. And if you remember, they can do work throughout the entire country. So if you're not as familiar with their brand, you think about, like, we have an internal compliance. It's similar to like an external compliance or selling those services. We have such expertise in it that they're working for clients that we don't manage for necessarily.
Good morning. How are you today?
For those clients. So
you're here.
Pretty excited about the work that each of those brands have done. And so now let's move into Selden Company brand. And what I thought would be fun to talk about, we have lots of KPIs, and you guys I know you guys see your scorecard metrics, and you hear about those, and you hear about, research, like how are we doing, and different stats that are just emailed out. But I thought it would be really fun to talk about on the Selden Company brand, the employee pride activities. So as you guys remember, when we met for the town hall, we said, hey, every month we're going to do a different activity. You turn it in, you get Worktango points for doing it. And then there'll be winners, right? And there have been some fantastic prizes, a lot of gift cards, like $100 per person at a property, different fun things. And so I thought I'd just kind of share with you a little bit about, do you wonder about how we've done and how many people participated and how this turned out? So I have each one again. May, if you remember, was curb appeal. I won't go through the details on each one, but I do want to highlight something about these. So you'll notice the pattern here. So May, we had 37 properties, right? You think about, we have over 200 properties, right? In the Selden Company division, the brand, 37 participated in that one. Then we had 27. This was a show off your maintenance shop. What's kind of interesting about this one? A little bit interesting on this one was it was mandatory, right? Do you remember we did some shop standardization and the shops had really low participation. So hopefully since that month ended, you have continued to work on that, because those were, and you're probably hearing from regionals and BPs around those inspections. And so kind of a low participation in that one. 24 for Show Us Your Resident event. Boy, we did love looking at the pictures that did come in. I know some of our other departments did a good job. I know HR would comment on those, and people really enjoyed seeing the pictures that did come in. But 30 properties in, so we went up a little bit there. And then we had September, we had Selden Swag. Those were fun to see. And then we had October Raving Review 30. So here we are at November. And help me get to 75. So first of all, I want to say thank you to those who participated. This meeting, I think we had about 38 people sign up. I'm guessing a lot of the people who signed up for this that are very interested in what's going on were also maybe some of the participants with this. We really want in 2025 more participation. And so help me out. How could we get more people to participate? The ones that we got were awesome, and we're doing an awesome job. And I know there are more properties out there that killed it with these in these areas, but they didn't participate. And so I would love to see in November, we don't have a whole lot of November left, and this one's easy. Show off your PPE. You have it in your shops. Your tech should be wearing it. And so what could we, feel free to chat or send me a message later. What can I offer, and how could we all help to get to 75 properties participating? A little bit what I think I need is a little bit of that peer pressure. I think some of you guys on Teams or in chats with like every property in your regionals portfolio. Could you, like, if you are like, you're on this call today, you're probably a promoter of these events and you probably like some of these activities. Would you be willing to get on a chat on Teams to all those other properties and say like, hey, you haven't by the end of November, make sure you get in your picture of the PPE, right? Or, hey, did you see the sync up session is out there? It'd be a great one for us to watch. Can you help me? It's hard from just corporate to get everyone else engaged. And so I'd love to see all of you help spread the word of this participation. Okay, it's most meaningful when we get the bulk of our employees and our properties to participate. And obviously it's hard when we're in 10 states, right? You look at all the geographies, we have so many locations, but we are electronic, and people should have the information. So whatever you guys can do to help, I would really love. So help me in November get to 75 properties participating. It's really easy. And managers, your CBM at a property, you encourage your staff to do that and go in and put forward and work tango, they get points. And if your team wins, the prizes are usually really nice. They're definitely something, the teams that have won have been very excited about their prizes. So I think we've done a good job, but I'd like to see us strive for excellence and do amazing with the participation. Okay, so December then is going to be Show Off Your Clubhouse. And so what can we do there? Help me get that participation up. That's a really easy one too, right? Your clubhouses look great. I'm sure you have them neat and tidy. And so I think that's an easy picture you take and you send it in. But we want to see part of this, and why we want so much participation too, is it helps instill pride in your team about the work you're doing. And so CBM as a leader, you're talking to your team about it. We have a lot of pride. So of course we want to submit, and we want to make sure that we are following on what our goal was, right? With the, hey, we're as a team taking care of our property. And that extends beyond 2024. As we move into 2025, we're taking really good care of our property and we want to show it off. The other thing, and something we were hoping for with this activity and the pride, is that you would see what other people are doing. So it's fun to go out and look at the pictures, right, of what others, to generate ideas. Doesn't that help you when you see something another property is doing? Like, oh, that's a great idea. Love to implement something like that. Okay, so more participation is better all the way around. So that's what we're asking for. Of our kind of moving along to our department teams. So at the department town hall, then we said, hey, department teams, we're telling all the brands and we're telling the properties to do this. These are some of the things that we're looking for from the corporate departments, right? A big part, along with your routine work, is supporting the operations, supporting the field. So we need to be committed to this outstanding, pleasant customer service, and looking at how can we support them? What more are we doing? You know, how are we supporting them in their property pride efforts? Like I said, HR did a good job of going out and saying, oh, I love your picture on this. You know, this looks great. You know, and some of the other departments that help support. We had many different departments, individuals say when it was the maintenance shop one, hey, we'd love to come out and help clean up the maintenance shops, right? We got to get these standardized. We realize some properties might be short help. We will come and go help clean up. But do you know guess how many properties asked for someone from corporate to like the team to come help when we advertise that? 0. We didn't have any takers. And so it's something to keep in mind. It was great that there was an offer, but we want to make sure that, you know, I wonder why that we do ponder, like, why didn't people take advantage of that? You know, some properties were short or they didn't get it done. Did you not hear that that was an option? Those are the things that we're looking for to make sure we do these things better, right? And we better support you in that you get engaged. But we ask that of our department teams too. So yeah, so this is a little bit what we said to department teams. We want to make sure too, a big piece of your job is also to provide outstanding customer service to each other, the other teams at corporate, and to the sites. And so with that, we did customer service surveys. Do you guys remember that you completed these all summer long? So I thought maybe you would be interested to know, like, what do we do with those results? And so we do measure those. I wanted to show you. There were 2 sets of surveys. The first survey were ratings that site staff out on the properties, this would be on the residential commercial brand, or sorry, the residential brand Sullivan Company, they got to rate the department staff, right, in customer service areas. So quality, things like quality of experience working with the team, how well are your questions or concerns fully answered by the team, rate the timeliness of your questions. Those were the questions. And so then we put them and we evaluated. What's not shown here is each department name up here. I'm not going to reflect on that or share that information. But then each department head got the results. What we gave them was, hey, here was the question. Here was the highest score, which here you can see reflected as green. Here was the lowest score. Here is how your department performed. If you're not happy with that, let's talk about that. Let's share that with your team. Everyone has received the results at the department level other than our commercial or omni team. I still need to meet with you on that. They did on the next survey, you'll see what I'm referring to, but here, these were released. Okay. So then if you look, like I said, this was where we had the corporate staff got to rank the other corporate staff along with like all the brands were included. Okay. And so again, I'm not gonna, because we felt like this was something that we would share results with the department leaders and then the staff could work together. But what we want the sites and all of you to know that took the time to do it is when surveys come out, please do take a minute. We try to make them really simple and fast. Please do participate. And then we want you to know, please know that we're looking at it very carefully. We're evaluating, we're looking at what we can learn. In general, what I can tell you is the scores were very high. And so in general, we're very pleased. There's always going to be a lowest, you know, and a highest, but there wasn't a huge range in between those 2 scores. And so we were really, really pleased, but it does help us measure how we're doing. And it helps individual teams because as we do this from time to time, they can look at, okay, are we getting better? You know, we didn't do how we wanted. The next time, did we improve? And so I did want to share and give some kudos that on one of the surveys, the highest score by far that took a lot of the categories was our marketing team. So congrats to marketing. And then our admin team sweeped one for the highest score. So congrats to those 2 departments for scoring very, very well. But wanted everyone else to know that please remember to participate and know that we are looking at this very carefully. And that's how we're learning, you know, where and what areas did we all kind of score a little lower? What can we focus more on to make sure that we're providing amazing support for the operations team? Okay. So moving along, we also did, if you remember, we said, hey, HR is going to ask you these survey questions. And so we'll have 4 to 5 different questions each month, but we'll repeat the same questions each quarter, right? And so you have been seeing these come through. And so here is a little bit to share with you of what that looks like from the results. So there was a leadership, enablement, alignment, development, engagement questions. I put the October in here. So like one question would be, the leaders at my company keep people informed about what is happening. Another one here is, I have access to the learning and development I need to do my job well. I know what I need to do to be successful in my role. My manager or someone in management has shown genuine interest in my career. And then the last one is, I rarely think about looking for another job or thinking for a job at another company. And so you can then see the rankings. In general, these are high scores. We've done very well, but we look for those outliers and look for like different trends in different months. Is there a month in general that we score generally all across the board lower? Engagement, we look at this question about the job a lot. I looked at that one in particular for October. Our turnover stats show in general that there's a lot of movement with jobs in October. I think October tends to be that month in a lot of industries where people are deciding like, hey, holidays are coming up, I'm not going to make a move. So if I'm going to make a move, I'm thinking about that a lot in October. So what can we all do from like September, October to say, oh, there's a high turnover, or maybe even a couple months before, what can we do to make sure that we have good engagement? You all know from your properties and your departments, it's painful when you lose coworkers, right? No one wants to lose coworkers. So we all play a part in being good coworkers to make sure that we're retaining staff, right? And so those are the things that we're looking at. Where can we find trends? What can we do? It's our check on like do our employees like working for Selden? What do we need to do a little bit better? But we want you to know your results are being evaluated and reviewed and carefully. We're making decisions based on the data you're giving. So please take a minute, encourage others to participate in those surveys. Oh, I kind of hate to be the bearer of bad news on this one, but we were working on a birthday goal, right? And just to let you know, people have said, hey, I haven't seen that for a little while. We hit 10 out of 7. We are currently at 10 out of 7. So we are not getting our birthday goal, but watch for next year because we are going to bring back some other safety goals. Again, please, what we find about a lot of our accidents are that it's just, like I'm just working too fast. If everyone just takes a minute, slows down with what they're doing, making sure they're wearing their PPE, we would have less incidents, okay? So we did not make that, I'm sorry to report, but we will do something next year again. Okay, I don't know if it's exactly gonna be birthdays, it might, but I'll let you know, we'll let you know. Watch the town hall for more information on that. So I've got to wrap this up, a couple quick sneak peeks so for 2025 and what you'll hear about in the town hall for all brands is that we're bringing back something called Pulse Check. Pulse Check is just something that we call our program where we take 4 or 5 big company goals and every month we measure, we're giving you good information as to how we're doing each month. And if we meet 6 out of 11 months, a $250 grossed up bonus to every employee, the first payroll in December next year. Who doesn't love that right around the holidays, right? Or just extra cash for whatever you need it for. Maybe some other incentives with that. So watch to see what are those measures. I can tell you there'll be a safety measure in there. There's going to be a wellness measure in there. There's going to be a participation type, right? Whether it's with education or other, things that we're doing, programs we're doing to help get more people to participate. So some fun things that every department, everyone's going to participate in. We work together. This is where that peer pressure comes in handy. People don't participate or don't work on some of these things, it's going to impact your bonus, okay? And maybe other incentives we offer with that. So make sure you watch the town hall, you hear what those measures are, and you help participate and help us meet those goals. And then in 2025, the focus is really going to be on pride and customer service, a lot about customer service. So we've actually formed a committee. There's representation from all of our brands on this committee. And they're going to help remind, give information on the stats to how we're doing on those Pulse Check goals. And they're going to do some really fun, hype up videos, pride. We want everyone to feel pride for working at Selden, working for their brand. And so with that, we're also having that committee work on a new motto. Some of you may know this, some of you might not, but we've had past mottos of we bleed Selden blue, or hashtag life at Selden. We're going to create a new intro motto for all brands. And again, just to really hype up and have fun. We can come to work and just do our thing, or we can come to work and have so much fun doing it. And that's what we want. We want to work hard, but have fun doing it. So that committee is working on a new motto that will release. And then they are going to work to pull teams together every month to do a video to hype up, like, this is how we're doing, and this is why we're awesome, and to help us live that motto and live our, you know, our mission and vision. And they're going to be so amazing that every month your team's going to be dying to see what the next one's like, and who is it? Who was the group that was selected to really hype us up as a company? So watch for those to come. We are also bringing back company picnics in 2025. We heard that people miss those, so we will do it in multiple geographies. If you have ideas of fun picnic places, you know, like for instance, in Omaha, we've done the zoo. We probably have done Funplex, some different things. So think about your areas. We'll let you know what geographies we'll do it. We want to try to capture an area that everyone could travel to a short distance, you know, not too far to get to. But we will bring those back so we can, employees and their families can get together. We just heard that people really like that and miss that. So we heard you, and we're bringing them back for 2025. And finally, just kind of to give you a tease for that town hall with our CEO presenting, Alicia Clark, and our brand presidents, just to say that we are going to talk a lot about this in the town hall, but where we are headed and what we expect is that all brands are recognized as a top in their industries for customer service. So more to come on some of the significant changes and fun things that we'll be doing to make sure that we are accomplishing this, as we want to go out and do more business development and be selective in our properties, both, you know, like the Omni residential, the Omni commercial brand, and even the Selling Company residential brand. You know, we've had some shift in management, and we will be looking to bring in properties that we really, and owners we want to work with. And so we have to be competitive with the competitors, you know, over our competitors. And so there are some things that we're going to do. We think customer service is everything else falls in line. Our owners are happy, our tenants are happy, our clients are happy. And so lots to come on the customer service piece in that program. And then the pride and the hype videos. So a lot of fun things coming, and then opportunities to earn incentives. So help me out, please, by participation. You know, talk to your peers about this session, encourage them to watch the town hall. Thank you guys for attending. Christy, were there any chat, anything I should address?
The only thing that I wanted to make mention is that Ryan Bader did mention, we had a few people saying that they didn't realize that that offer was on the table about the shop help. And he said that offer does not go away. And if anybody is interested in, they should definitely reach out.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, if your shop still needs that help, reach out to me. We will get a crew. You know, we will figure it out together. Anything else? There's a lot of neat things that happened in 2024. We'll give more stats, more information, like I said, in the town hall, but a lot of fun things to come and look forward to in 2025. Okay. Thanks, everyone.